I always thought babysitting for someone famous would be a breeze, especially when the promise was, the kids will be asleep by 9, just keep an eye on the cameras, and you'll barely notice the hours slip by. What I didn't expect was that a single, careless tug on a bookshelf would change my life forever. Behind those rows of pristine hardcovers was a hidden door, and behind that, a secret room bursting with more cash than I'd ever seen, shelves of passports, and stacks of photos, faces of people who, I realized with a chill, were never meant to be found. Was this a celebrity's panic room, or was I staring at evidence of something far, far darker? If you're finding this as gripping as I did, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join our community. You don't want to miss the rest of this story. The deeper I looked, the more surreal it became. Some of the photos had red marks, others had odd notes in the margins. My heart pounded as I recognized one face from a missing persons poster that had haunted my city for months. What exactly had I stumbled into? Suddenly, every shadow in the house felt alive. The silence was thick, punctuated by the quiet hum of security cameras that I now realized weren't there for the children's protection, but for something else entirely. Would you stay and investigate, or run for your life? I debated for hours, my anxiety at war with my curiosity. But as the night wore on, a new question began to gnaw at me. Who had really hired me, and why did they want someone so inexperienced to just watch the cameras? Meanwhile, in a cold, locked room far below the city, a figure sat shackled to a steel chair under the harsh glare of fluorescent lights. This wasn't just anyone. It was a man millions had come to trust, whose face was a fixture on American television, grinning behind a counter and trading jokes about old coins and rare collectibles. But tonight, Rick Harrison, porn star's legend, wasn't joking. What had landed TV's favorite negotiator in an interrogation room, with detectives whispering behind mirrored glass? And why did everyone in the room seem more afraid of what he might say than what he'd done? The lead investigator, a seasoned veteran who'd seen the worst humanity had to offer, found himself rattled for the first time in his career. He started the session calm and collected, but as Rick began to speak, the atmosphere shifted. With no warning, Rick uttered a phrase so chilling, the detective froze. We all took turns, every hour, with the girl. Was it a confession, a provocation, or something else entirely? The words hung in the air like a toxin, infecting everyone who heard them. Was Rick speaking in code, or was this a directed mission? The detective, unable to disguise his horror, excused himself and never returned. As word of the interrogation leaked, the public was thrown into chaos. Was this a coerced admission, a twisted joke, or the key to unraveling a vast criminal network? Federal agents scoured Rick's records, uncovering disturbing logs and coded correspondences. Each clue pointed to the existence of a system, one not just involving Rick, but implicating others. The phrase private rotation appeared again and again, always tied to ledger numbers, location codes, and chillingly precise time stamps. What did rotation mean? And who were the other players in this sinister game? The case took a shocking turn when analysts began matching details from Rick's ledgers with real-life missing children. One name rose above the rest: Ariella Dawn Mahoney, a 9-year-old who had vanished without a trace years earlier. Her disappearance had seemed routine, a child gone missing after school, a family left in agony. But now, her profile matched Rick's notes too perfectly to be coincidence. Was Ariella the girl Rick mentioned? DNA evidence from a toothbrush found in a hidden bunker provided a near-certain answer. She had been there. As the investigation widened, more survivors began to speak, each testimony painting a picture more horrifying than the last. But the central question remained: how many others had disappeared into this shadowy network? And did Rick's confession reveal the full extent of his crimes? Or was it just the tip of the iceberg? The world waited, desperate for answers, as the line between celebrity and monster blurred beyond recognition. If you want to follow this unfolding story and countless others that dig beneath the surface, smash that subscribe button now, because some truths are too important to ignore.